Hello, my name is Azro Kayaks, and welcome to my channel Stories from Azro Kayaks. Today we're going to be reading Dragoons The Awakening, Chapter 3. With that said, let us get started. Chapter 3, Wenry's Annoying. Start. Wenry, we're running low on forage festivals. Go get some, Grandma says. Okay, Wenry says. Draco, go with her. Make sure she's safe and also bring back more vegetables, Grandma says. I just sat down, Draco says. Too bad. If you're gonna live in my house, you have to do what I say, Grandma says. I don't live here, Draco yells. Grandma coughs a bunch of times. Draco. Fine. Grandma. Draco, help this old, tired woman out, Grandma says, wiping spit from her mouth. Fine, Draco says and walks out of the house. Wait for me. Be back later, Grandma, Wenry says and leaves the house after Draco. Fucking old hag, Draco says. Draco, this way. Wenry starts pulling and leading Draco in a different way into the forest. After a bit of walking, Draco and Wenry are in the deeper part of the woods. Draco cools off. So what are we getting, Wenry? Draco says. I don't know. You just kind of left the house. I wasn't able to check what we needed, so... Wenry says. Just fucking great, Draco says. Relax, Draco. It's like old times. I'll find the veggies and you watch my back. What if a griffin hawk attacks me? Wenry says with a laugh. Draco laughs. Hey, remember that time a chicken drake attacked me? Draco says. I remember it flying around and pecking us, Wenry says. Us? This is not how that happened, Wenry, Draco says. What are you talking about, Draco? Wenry says. Wenry spots a bit of foraged veggies and gets on her hands and knees and starts to pluck them out of the ground, putting them in a little basket she just happened to pull and grab. You found the chicken drake egg and you wanted to eat it so bad you stole it. You put it in the basket and then the chicken drake flew over us, saw that you had it, and attacked, Draco said. Well, see, I was attacked as well, Wenry says while grabbing a forest potato. No! It flew past you and freaked out and ran behind a tree, leaving me with the basket alone, Draco said, looking around to make sure that there's no animals near them. It didn't happen like that, Wenry says, while finding some forest carrots. Yes, it did. It flew around and pecked me and scratched them while you hid like a coward, Draco says. What? That doesn't sound like something I would do, Wenry says, picking up a forest radish. Then we ran home and Grandma yelled at you for not bringing back any vegetables and beat me with a broom for not being a man and killing the chicken drake and taking it home, Draco says. Wenry sits down quiet for a moment, listening. Okay, maybe you're right. Maybe Grandma is a hag, Wenry says. Yes! I'm not crazy! That old lady will be the death of us, Wenry, Draco says. Wenry and Draco have a good long laugh together. A couple hours go by of Wenry searching and grabbing random forage festivals in the forest. Draco bring up past and all the random things that they did. This should be enough for her, Wenry says, lifting a full basket of random assorted forest vegetables. We got everything? Good. Let's go back, Draco says. Almost. I didn't find any cilantro, Wenry says. Well, too bad. Let's go, Draco says. No! I will not let you forget the cilantro again, Wenry says. Draco and Wenry fight over getting the cilantro. You know what? I don't need you, Wenry says and just walks deeper into the forest. Alright. See if I care, Draco says, starts walking back to the village. Draco makes it back to the village. Draco looks back at the forest one last time. Draco thinks to himself, Wenry will be fine. I don't need to worry, she lives here. She knows these forests. Draco goes back to Wenry's house. Upon entry, Hey Wenry! What did you get? Grandma yells out. Oh, it's just me, hag, Draco says. Oh, wait. Where's Henry? Grandma says, confused. Oh, she stayed in the forest, Draco says, sitting down at the table to relax. Why? Grandma asks. She wanted some cilantro or something, Draco says. And you left her there? Grandma asks. Well, yeah, Henry's annoying, Draco says, shrugging. You left a poor, weak, nice, innocent girl alone in the woods? Grandma says. She is not any of those words, Draco exclaims. What did we even talk about yesterday? Grandma yells. To be 100% honest, I blocked most of what happened out already, Draco says, rolling his shoulders. You are a terrible grandson, Grandma says. You're the one who raised me. It's your fault, Draco says. A minute of silence passes. Did you at least bring the vegetables back with you? Grandma says. No, Henry had them when she stormed off deeper into the woods. Draco says, thinking about it. God, you're fucking useless, Grandma says. Why don't you go get the vegetables? Draco yells. I'm old and missing a fucking leg, Grandma says. Draco remembers and shuts up. A moment of silence. Just go get Henry, Grandma says in a disappointed tone. Yeah, I'll go do that, Draco says, getting up. Draco walks outside the house and heads back to the forest part where Henry took him. Draco thinks to himself, why the hell does Henry have to be so fucking hard-headed? It's just fucking cilantro. Just let it go. Damn it. Ah. Draco gets back to the point in the forest where him and Henry split up. Henry! Where are you? Draco yells out. You better not be messing with me! Draco yells out. Draco sighs. Draco walks further into the forest, the same way he saw Henry going. After a couple minutes of walking, Draco thinks to himself, I'm gonna kill Henry when I find her. If she's messing with me, Draco's thoughts get interrupted as he steps onto something wet. Draco stops and examines his foot and the ground around it. Blood, Draco says with fear in his heart. Draco dashes over to a nearby tree and checks his surroundings. Draco sees blood, crushed and sliced foliage, a couple large feathers, and Henry's basket. Draco says, shocked, confused. Draco realizes he has no weapons. He doesn't know if Henry's alive or dead, or whatever attacked her, but it has huge wings, because that's the only way these feathers could come off of it. Draco thinks to himself, the smartest thing to do would be to run back to the village. But if Henry's alive, me leaving right now could be the death of her. I have to at least try and save her, because if I leave right now and I don't save her, that would be unforgivable. After a minute of debating, Draco decides to stay and look for Henry. Draco hugs and slowly walks from tree to tree, listening to the sounds of the forest. Caw! Draco thinks to himself, that was really loud. That was way too loud to be a chicken drake. Caw! 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 Draco looks up and sees a wyvern hawk. Draco says to himself. Draco watches the wyvern hawk soar around the sky in circles, like it's looking for something. Draco thinks to himself, what is this doing here? What is it looking for? I have to see. Draco sneaks closer and closer, all while trying to stay in the shade and foliage to be hidden from the wyvern hawk's keen eyesight. Draco sees a nest on the ground. A nest? On the ground? Makes sense. Wyvern hawks are huge. A normal nest in a tree wouldn't support them. And if the eggs or chicks fall, they would die. Yeah, it makes sense. Draco thinks to himself. Caw, caw! The wyvern hawk flies around, making noise and looking around. Draco sees blood on the nest as he gets closer. No. Wait. Is that? Draco says, and sees a blood-stained piece of Wenry's cloth clothing sticking out of the nest. Draco holds back tears. Wenry, I'm sorry I left, Draco says to himself. Draco gets filled with rage. I couldn't save you, but I can get revenge for you, Wenry, Draco says. Draco sneaks around, getting closer and closer to the nest. Draco finally gets to the nest. He climbs into the wyvern hawk's nest to see the eggs. 3 eggs, huh? No, 3 scrambled eggs, Draco says. In Draco's rage, he didn't even notice the cawing stopped, as the wyvern hawk was busy or watching something. Draco thinks to himself, why is the forest so quiet? Draco picks up an egg and gets ready to drop it. Then, the wyvern hawk lands on the rim of the nest, scaring the ever-loving shit out of Draco and making him get into a standoff with the wyvern hawk. The wyvern hawk tries to bite Draco's face off. 1 right bite lunge, 1 left, and then right again. Draco dodging each one while still holding the egg miraculously. Fuck you, bird! You killed Wenry! Draco says. He gets ready to slam the egg down. The wyvern hawk opens its massive wingspan and swats at Draco, causing a huge gust of wind, pushing Draco up and out of the nest. Draco stands up quickly to see the egg in the air. The wyvern hawk tries to catch it as it falls. Draco runs into a random direction into the forest. Draco runs and runs. He hears the wyvern hawk cry. Draco hears the flapping of wings and a roaring cow. Shit, 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 Draco says as he's running for his life. Draco can hear the wyvern hawk getting closer above him. As Draco runs and passes trees, he feels a sudden burst of air. Woof! The wyvern hawk dive bombed the tree right next to him, barely missing him and smashing the tree in half. Fear struck Draco hard. Draco keeps running as the wyvern hawk regains its bearings and flies back up into the sky. Draco thinks to himself, I don't want to die like this. I need to think of something. Draco sees the cave. Draco, having no other choices, runs toward the cave. But there's a clearing before it, no trees to hide behind. The wyvern hawk sees Draco as he's making a break for the cave and dive bombs him. Draco thinks to himself, this is it. I'll see you soon, Wenry. Draco jumps at the very last second. The wyvern hawk slams down from the dive bomb, slightly bumping Draco forward and smashing into the cave entrance. The unstable rocks collapse and the wyvern hawk flies away instead of getting crushed by the rocks. Draco is trapped in the cave. Well, that's the end of Chapter 3. I hope you fellow Valkaijin liked it. Chapter 3, Wenry's Annoying, end. Remember, if you guys like my videos, please like, comment, and subscribe, and share with your friends. That's pretty much it. So, Azure Kayaks out. See you guys in the next episode.